All right, welcome Quakers, welcome my friends, my fellow human beings, my students. In case you don't know, my name is Mr. Richter. Hopefully you already watched my little intro video I filmed before. I don't really film it, right? It's all digital, but you know. So you got a little bit of an idea about me. If you didn't know me before, we'll do more like get to know each other's as best we can as the days go on. But today, this is like a first little video to look about, to try to figure out the schedule. I want you guys to be somewhat comfortable, at least familiar with what's happening the first couple of weeks. So let's spend a few moments, or I'll talk, you listen, you think about it. If you have any questions, there'll be a chance at the end for you guys to do a little survey. So this is my second take. So I'm committed to doing it right and not talking too much. First take went on a long time. So let me just share my screen. I sent this link to you as part of the assignment right here. So you could just click on this link and you could download it. You could print it off. You could just access it when you need to. But very important, very helpful document for you guys for the first 2 weeks. It's telling you where you're supposed to be, quote unquote, be each time during the day. And it's got times, all right? So it's kind of funny because we're at home. We're all at home, or you guys are home. I'm at school. And it's got these things called asynchronous and synchronous. So let's talk about that a little bit. And let's talk about this schedule. So first thing you notice is we're doing blue day, back to back, Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we're doing gold, gold. And Wednesday, Thursday. And notice Thursday, it's a half day. It's a short day. So that's sweet. So that's number one. Number two, you know, from those of you who've been to Eastern before, week one is always very, very gentle, soft week. So don't get stressed out. We're just learning about how all the stuff works, getting a little bit more comfortable with it, trying to learn a little bit more about each other, doing little icebreakers. Not a lot of like hardcore stuff going on unless you're in like, you know, some crazy DP class. Maybe you're starting to do a little bit, but even there we'll be gentle, right? So we so no time, no worries here, no big worries, things to stress out on. Let's just start slowly. It's a good way to begin. So with that in mind, let's look closer at this first week so you guys have an idea. So first thing you notice, the Monday, first hour, it says asynchronous, and it gives you time 7:25 to 9. So what is asynchronous versus synchronous, in case you don't know? To be synchronous is to be synchronized, right? When you synchronize, you connect up. You're on the same page, you're synchronized. So synchronous instruction is time when you're supposed to be actually in that Google Classroom at that time of the day. Your teacher will be there also. Most of the time there'll be a Google Meet link live on that class. I'll show you what it'll look like. Where my Google Classroom's at? I wonder if I don't know if I can bounce around to share different things. I think I can. So I think you're seeing this now. So if I go into my first hour class, see, I've got this Meet link right here. Right now, you see that little eye's been turned off. So if you logged in right when I was making this video, you wouldn't see the link. But when you guys log in, it'll be there. So when you first come in at 9:02 in the morning, you come to your Google Classroom. And by the way, these Google Classrooms, I think you might be able to like rearrange them if they're not in order. I'm able to rearrange mine, so I put them in order: first hour, second hour, and then I don't do a third hour. So you can play with that. Like I just grab it and move it around. But anyway, so at the synchronized time, that's when you're supposed to actually be in that class, click on that Google link, and hopefully if the technology doesn't break down, the teacher, I'll be there. And I'll be like, hey, how's it going? And as you come in, what will happen is we'll try to have some type of normal class, semi-normal class in that Google Meet, at least begin a class that way. And then we may do like a breakout or say, hey, you know, click on this link. We'll see how that goes. So that's so those 2 hours, those 2 blocks in the middle of the day, that's when you're doing synchronized instruction. And on Monday, you're doing that with your second class, second block, and your third block. Now let's talk about async. Now there's a time. Async means you're not synchronized. You're not there at the same time I am, not necessarily. So at 7:25 on Monday, I will be up and awake, and I will be on my computer, and I'll be looking at things and getting things ready. You may not be. You could be asleep still. All right, so asynchronous means you don't have to get up and go right into your classroom at 7:25. You could, if you're the type of person who likes to, have that structure, you could get up and come in. There'll be something there for you, like this video or some other assignment, but I won't be there live. So whatever's there in your class will be recorded, which means you could do it at 7:25 or you could do it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's up to you. You've got some flexibility. So in the first day, your first block and your fourth block are both asynced, which means the teacher, we will not be there live, but we will have something for you in that class. So you still want to go to that, but you don't have to go at that exact time. Now, some of you guys want that structure. Maybe 7:25 is a little early, but maybe you get up by 8 o'clock and you check in with your first hour and then you're watching this video. That's what I would recommend to kind of start to get yourself more in the schedule of getting up a little earlier. So presumably if we do go back to regular school soon enough, in the 9 weeks, it won't be a big adjustment. Plus it's good to get up relatively early, as long as you go to bed on time. So it's up to you guys for the asyncs, or whether you check in when you check in. You could use these times or not, but the teachers, we will be there. That's the difference. So these times are really for us and for you to know that I'm going to be there. So if you want to talk to me first hour, and let's say it's a Monday and an async day, you could hit me a quick email, because pretty good chances I'll see that email right away and I'll be able to hit you right back. It's kind of like my office hours, or you say, hey, Miss Rich, I want to talk for a minute. And then I can send you back a Google Meet link, or you could even generate one probably. And then we could talk face to face, quote unquote. So during the async times, it's kind of like, you want to think of it like the teachers, we're sitting in our classrooms during those times. You could come and knock on our door if you wanted to, or you could not. But you do want to go in and check in on that class at some point in the day, because we will have a little something for you to do. Some days more than a little something, all right? So you still want to check in to each class during, whether it's an async or sync, but the async, you don't have to use that time. Come in whenever you want. That's number one. Number two, each day, whether it's synced or asynced, in every class, quote unquote, just about every class, every day, there'll be at least one assignment for you to turn in. And we could call that an exit ticket. We could call it like a learning check. They could call it, your teacher may call it different things, but it's going to be something for you to turn in that we can like verify, number one, hey, you did some work today. And number two, we can also use it to help with attendance. So think about that, especially for these sync classes, because some of you, despite your best intentions, you may miss the class. Maybe you have an appointment for something and you missed the 9 o'clock time block. You could still go back in later that day, go into that class. There may be a video, like maybe I recorded the video from that lesson of the day, or maybe I record part of it, and then you can still watch that lesson even though you weren't there and you didn't really participate, but you can watch it later, and then you could see, oh, well, what was the little assignment they did? Oh, there it is. And then you could still do that exit ticket, turn it in, and I will see that. And as long as you turn it in, this is true for all your teachers. As long as you turn that exit ticket in by midnight of that same day, then we can still mark you as present. I think it's like a different code. It's like they did the work, but they weren't there, kind of cool, but it's still like you were there. So it's good to do that. So keep that in mind. If you miss a sync class for whatever reason, if you miss it, don't just ignore it. Just, if you can, go into that class before the end of the day and then find that exit ticket. And if you can complete it, do that before like midnight on that day. And then the next morning when I get up, the first thing I'll do is I'll go and I'll look at those, if anybody turned stuff in the night before, and then I'll be able to go and change the attendance. So keep that in mind. Same deal happens with async classes. So even though there's no time, there still is going to be a little something, and I put quotes around little, it may not always be little, something for you to turn in that day, each day, to get your credit, number one, and also to help with the attendance. So just make sure you check in each day. So there's your schedule for the first week. Second week, very similar. Monday, we have no school. Tuesday, Wednesday are both be blue days back to back. We flip the async and the syncs. And then Thursday and Friday are gold days back to back, and we flip the asyncs and syncs. So hopefully, guys, that's not too bad. That's my second take. I'm not going to do a third. So sorry if I went on a little long, but I have a little survey for you to complete now. That'll be your exit ticket or your learning check. That will be your credit. So I'll have that linked for you. Look for it. Look for it somewhere, you know, under here, like those YouTube videos. Yeah, it's under here. Look, find the link. Find the link. So find that little survey. That's do that. Complete it. And then that will give me a chance, like give you a chance to ask some more questions if you're like, Ms. Richard, I didn't understand half of what you said, and you talked too fast, or whatever feedback you have. Look forward to it. So hey, enough of this, enough of me talking. I need to say goodbye and farewell, and I will talk to you later. And stop.